Okay, we're here at Chapter 2, Lesson 3. Our essential question is, what strategies can I use to add or subtract? And today we're focusing on adding and subtracting mentally. So they're giving you a strategy with this lesson to help you be able to solve these types of equations in your head. And I know before I had mentioned in another lesson about how yes, you can do the standard algorithm to get the answer, but that's not the way that people who are really successful with adding and subtracting in their head do the math. They actually use these types of strategies. So it feels awkward at first, but if you make a positive effort to practice it, it can help you be able to solve these problems in your head without having to get out your phone or your calculator to work these out. So just bear with me and give it a good effort, and this can make you more proficient with your math. Example 1. The table shows the number of instruments sold at an instrument store. What is the total number of guitars and trumpets that was sold? So here we've got our table: guitars 223, trumpets 67. Okay, so the information we have is actually in the table, not the problem. Come on. Okay, it doesn't like me highlighting today. There we go. And the question we have to solve is, what is the total number of guitars and trumpets that was sold? Okay, so in order to solve it using the mental math strategy, we need to find 223 plus 67. That's our plan. That's what we have to do to find this answer. What they want us to practice doing is to solve an easier problem by making a 10. So we're taking from one addend. We can see that 3 and 7 make a 10. So we're going to move that 3 over to the 67. And we're going to solve a different problem. We're going to solve 220 plus 70, which they have here. And this is easier to solve in our head. So we've got 0, 0 in the ones place. 7 and 2 is a 9 in the tens place. And we've got our 200. So to go back and answer this question, what is the total number of guitars and trumpets that was sold? There were 290 guitars and trumpets sold. So that's one strategy. It's nice because you can see clearly this 3 and the 7 combining to make that 10. So that's really handy on problems where you can see that easily, which is good when you know your basic facts to be able to notice those right away. This one is a little bit different, and it's more about rounding. So they're giving us this example: find 184, take away 59. And since 59 is so close to 60, what people who solve math mentally do is they make that 59 into a 60. So they're adding 1 to 59 to make 60. They're not taking in this problem, they're not taking it away from the 184. That was this example. Now we're doing it a different way for the example 2. So just adding 1 to the 59 to make it 60. Okay, so now I've got 184 minus 60 is 124. And hopefully because of the rounding of this number, you're able to solve that in your head. Now, since we did do that, adding 1, in order to get our difference correct again, we need to add that 1 back in. Round, but remember how far you had to round. So since we had to round up 1, we need to add 1 in before we get our correct difference here. So 184 minus 59 is 125. And again, if you practice this, it will get faster and easier than doing the equation. But you have to make it a good effort and a good faith effort to practice. Okay, this one is nice because it's kind of what I've talked about before. Attendance at a concert was 82,000 people. The following week, there were 76,000 people. How many more people attended the concert the first week? So this is what they're asking us to find. How many people attended? And here's the information we need. This many people and this many people. So it has our question again right here. Find 82,000 minus 76,000. And since this is sort of our thinking bubble that they've written out for us, both numbers have the same greatest place value position. So what they're saying is everything after the thousands place is zeros. So what we can do to make this a simpler problem is right here. We're changing those bigger numbers into more manageable numbers that we can solve a bit easier. And yes, you still have to regroup. So 8 goes to 7, and 2 goes to 12. And if you want to stack these, that's fine too. Now you've got 12 minus 6, 6, and then you've got 7 minus 7, which is 0. So 82,000 minus 76,000 is going to be the 6. But now, to get the actual answer, we need to add back in those zeros that we took away when we did this. So now we've got to bring back those 3 zeros. Because what we subtracted over here was basically just subtracting the tens and thousands, 10,000s and thousands places. So we'll put those zeros back in, and our answer is 6,000. So going back to our question, so 6,000 more people attended the first concert. Okay, just taking off those zeros to solve a simpler problem. Okay. And again, just make a good faith effort to get some practice on using this strategy. Here they give you exactly what you're going to change in order to do the mental math. Down here they're giving you steps, and since in order to solve this we're going to change 76 to 80, we have to add 4. So that's rounding up by 4. And then as you work through, you need, since you did round up by 4, that's what's happening here. You have to do the 4 again. Since you rounded up by 4, you need to add 4 to the difference. When you rounded, you decreased the difference. So you need to put that difference back to what it should have been in the original problem. Okay. On the second page, you will have some where you can choose. So you might end up getting different answers than your partner, and we'll go over those when we do the corrections because it does give you the option. There are some that definitely make it easier, and those will be the first answers we give, but since it does give you the option, some of you may get slightly different answers than others. And as always, don't forget, if you're running out of time, stop what you're doing and get some of these word problems done, because these are extremely important. All right, thank you for your attention.